everybody, my name is Andrew from Cultaholic Wrestling and welcome to our AEW Full Gear 2022 predictions video. Now look, I already know what you're thinking, okay? Why is this bold, bespectacled man on my screen once again after failing to win the Interim Winged Pigeon Championship at Crown Jewel against Tom Campbell? Well, let me tell you this, okay? Tom Campbell, the nicest man that he is, and maybe the fact that nobody else is available to do the video, Tom has offered me another shot at that Interim Winged Pigeon Championship. So without further ado, let's bring in the man of the hour, the radio host with the most, the man with the tiniest hands in all the Midlands, Mr. Interim Winged Pigeon Champion himself, Tom Campbell. Bring yourself in, Tom. Get yourself in it, Tom. Come on, we've got a Barry the Shark. We've got a little cameo.
Your mother doesn't love you!
What, that's not...
You look like a Make-A-Wish kid!
That's not...
And you're reigning, defending, undisputed Cultaholic Heavyweight Champion of the World! Allin Pacitti, how's it going? Look at this! Look at this! Yeah! Isn't it funny? Aren't puppets funny? Let's do the predictions. I'm not putting the belt on the line, you don't deserve it. First up, the TNT title is on the line. The champion Wardlow defending against two men in triple threat action, Samoa Joe and Powerhouse Hobbs. Who have you got on mind?
I'm going to go for Wardlow to retain the TNT title. Now, Wardlow's run has not been phenomenal. He's been placed in tag team matches multiple times at this point, and he's just not had much of a run at all. The momentum's just been taken away. So I think he picks up the win here. It's going to look really good if he wins a match against Samoa Joe and Powerhouse Hobbs. Powerhouse Hobbs in the match, I think he's going to take the pin. I think he's going to take the pin, and then the feud between them two can maybe like go on for a little bit longer. But yeah, I think it'd be really sad to take Wardlow away when he's not really had a chance to super prove himself as the TNT champion. So what better way to do it? Light a fire underneath that man's buttocks than get a win, sort of visual win over Samoa Joe, and also definitively pin Powerhouse Hobbs.
Everybody is discounting Powerhouse Hobbs here, right? Yeah. Everybody's going, that man has been put into the match to take the pin, and I think that is an absolute possibility. However, I'm going to subvert expectations. I'm going for Powerhouse Hobbs here.
Oh, wow.
I'm going for Powerhouse Hobbs.
Wow.
And you're right, in that Wardlow hasn't had an amazing title reign. It would have been nice if it were a bit better, and maybe they will continue it so that they can do that. That would be good to see. But actually, I'd like to see Hobbs with the belt. And this is very much based on the fact that everybody is saying this is one of the more predictable matches on the card because Powerhouse Hobbs is there. But hey, maybe Samoa Joe could do it too. But everybody's saying Powerhouse Hobbs is going to be the man to take the pin. He's not. He's going to be the man that does the pinning.
Nice. We've got some tag team action next with Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal going up against Sting and Darby Allin. Adam, who are you going to go for?
I was very disappointed, right, when Jeff Jarrett was unable to vanquish the dirty old man that is Ric Flair.
Yeah.
This is his time. It's his first match in AEW. He's just been signed. He's doing all sorts all over the place. And I know Sting doesn't lose on pay. He rarely loses. I think he's lost like one match in something like that.
Yeah, I don't even think he's been pinned himself.
Yeah, right.
So
he's not going to get pinned here. Darby Allin is going to be the man that gets pinned, and then we're going to see a bit of tension between Darby and Sting, which they've sort of teased already, just a little bit. I think that partnership has run its course, and there's no better man to properly get them broken up than Double J, Jeff Jarrett.
I like that a lot.
Thank you.
However, I'm going to go with the opposite. I'm going to say it's Sting and Darby Allin that pick up the win here. And I feel like, you know, Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal have been saying, Sting's your greatest weakness, Darby Allin. Sting is your greatest weakness. And I think maybe it's getting in Darby Allin's head a little bit, and he's starting to doubt himself quite a bit, whether he can really get the job done without Sting there. And I think Sting picks up the win in this one. I think Sting gets the win, Darby Allin gets a little bit jealous, and then that's how they break away. And then we can have like a really nice long feud with Sting and Darby Allin. Sting said before that, you know, he knows his time's up in wrestling, and he's gonna probably retire very, very soon. What a better way to retire than put over like someone like Darby Allin, one of the four pillars of AEW.
Yeah.
And I think that's how it's gonna go. I think they want Sting to lose in a more high-profile match than this. I'm saying it's not high profile.
It's not.
But I'm not saying it. I'm saying it's not high profile.
Let's be honest.
I think they want Sting to win Sting to lose in a more high profile match. So that's why I'm going for Sting and Darby Allin.
You forget the fact that Double J has swindled his way into every wrestling promotion in the world. There is no way that he cannot swindle a big win on pay-per-view as well. That's nothing in comparison to everything that he's done over the past billion years.
Yeah.
Double J. Next up in AEW World Title Eliminator Tournament action, you got Ethan Page taking on either Ricky Starks, Brian Cage, or Lance Archer. Who have you got and why?
I'm going to go for Ethan Page. He's been tearing through this tournament so far, and I don't think you take him out of it at this point. I think he goes all the way with it, you know?
Yeah,
and storyline-wise, it makes sense. MJF with the firm, MJF broke away from the firm. There's Ethan Page looking for his world title shot, and if something else down the line happens this evening, it looks as though we're going in that direction.
Totally.
So,
we can't talk about this match without essentially spoiling our predictions for the main event, can we?
Yeah.
But I think I've got MJF for that. Have you got MJF for that as well? Right, okay. You stick around to the end and everything. There's more matches, don't worry about that. But it makes the most sense for Ethan Page to pick up the win because it's a nice first challenger for MJF when he wins that belt, and a nice easy-ish win for MJF as well.
Yeah, that's the problem, I guess. Ethan Page, he's really good, but he doesn't feel like world title good.
In all honesty, do any of them? Not yet. I'm not saying there's not loads of potential there, but at this point in their AEW careers, I don't buy it out of any of those blokes.
Agreed.
But Ethan Page is the most likely, but he's still going to lose when he gets his shot. And there you go. And that'll be against MJF. Spoilers! Sorry.
Jesus. It's steel cage match time, Adam. We've got Luchasaurus versus Jungle Boy Jack Perry. Please tell me who you are going for, please.
It's going to be the end of the feud.
Yes.
This is it. This is absolutely it. And there is one man that should come out on top. Boy.
Just boy. Boy. Jack Boy.
Little Jungle Boy is picking up the win because you know what? He deserves to win the feud. If this is ending here, Luchasaurus, I think, is a way easier guy to rebuild than Jungle Boy. I think Jungle Boy needs this more, so I think Jungle Boy's the right pick.
I think you're absolutely right. I think with Jungle Boy Jack Perry saying, I just want you one more time inside a steel cage, I think it feels as though it's going to be a nice end to this feud. Also, I feel like if he didn't win and we still stretched it out until when Christian Cage is back healthy again, it would just, I think it'd just feel a bit naff, wouldn't it?
I think you can revisit it down the line,
Absolutely.
but you've sort of got to get rid of it now, and the way to do that is put Jungle Boy over.
Exactly, and that's always a good thing. Put it out of people's minds, so when it does come back around, then it'll be like, oh,
I can't believe it.
My God. So yeah, I'm going to go for Jungle Boy Jack Perry as well.
Next up, the TBS title is on the line. It's Jade Cargill, the champion, defending against Nyla Rose. Who you got, Mike?
Cargill.
Yep, Cargill. Next.
It's another world title match, this time for the Ring of Honor Championship. We've got Chris Jericho defending the belt against Sammy Guevara, Claudio Castagnoli, and Bryan Danielson. Who are you going to go for?
I am going to go for Chris Jericho here. We were talking about people being inserted into matches to take the pins earlier, and Sammy Guevara is that man. But I actually struggled a little bit figuring out who out of the other lot is going to be the one to do the pinning. But I'm going to give it to a cheeky Chris Jericho because I think there are plenty more former world champions that he's not yet defended that belt against.
Yeah.
That's his thing.
Yes.
So I think they can get another few months out of that, however long until Ring of Honor's TV deal suddenly appears. So I think Jericho's holding onto that belt.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think Chris Jericho's winning. I think we're going to maybe even get a tease where he's like, Sammy, lay down on the floor. Let me just pin you. 1, 2, 3. Finger poke of
One of
doom
those.
style. Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
But then Sammy might be like, I don't want to do that. And then clocked in the face with the Judas effect. 1, 2, 3. Sammy's like, what do you do that for? Because it's like, ha ha, I've got you. Also, I think it would be it'd make more sense for Chris Jericho to lose the title on a big Ring of Honor show, like an actual big Ring of Honor
Totally.
pay-per-view.
You don't want to be throwing that belt about too much before Ring of Honor is established once again as a presence on telly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like, I've not been the biggest fan of Chris Jericho recently, but I think the Ring of Honor stuff he's doing is actually quite entertaining, and I've enjoyed it a little bit.
He's back on form again, isn't he?
He is.
Every time. He's a guy who knows when his popularity dips just a little bit and thinks, oh, reinvent myself yet again, boom, and he's nailed it.
And he's done such a good, like you said, he's done such a good job, and also I think there's a lot more people to revisit in the Ring of Honor lineage as well. So that's why I'm going to go for Chris Jericho.
Next up, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, taking on a returning Saraya, her first match in forever. Who have you got and why?
It's got to be Saraya, right? It's got to be Saraya to make her feel like a formidable force within the women's roster after she's been saying, it's my Ruddy house, this. She's got to prove herself. She's got to prove herself finally. I mean, Britt could easily get some sort of like dodgy win. She could do something,
She wins a lot.
grab the tights, yeah, you know. But I think Saraya really does have to win this one. And hopefully all that ring rust is gone and we get a really good match out of the two as well.
Yeah, I've mentioned this before in videos. I'm worried about this match, but if there's anybody for Saraya to be in there with who's going to take good care of her, it is the Doc, and I'm going for Saraya also. I think it would be a foolish mistake to pay a lot of money for Saraya and bring her back, and then for her not to win her first big match. It's a return match, right? And typically the returning stars, like Jeff Jarrett, win those matches.
Well,
I've already sort of regretted my Jarrett pick. It's locked in, and also Saraya is going to be the one to win here.
Next up for the AEW Tag Team title match, we have the third match in a trilogy. It's the Acclaimed defending their titles against Swerve in Our Glory. Adam, tell me who you're going for, possibly in some form of hand gesture.
It's got to be, hasn't it? It would be really dumb to put the titles back on Keith and Swerve at this point. Even though they're doing great work, Swerve especially right now, absolutely awesome, loving everything that he's doing. But they are arguably, I don't think there's any argument actually, they're the hottest thing in the company. They're the hottest thing in the company. They're shifting merch like mad, and why would you take those belts away from them?
Why would you take the belts away from them? Especially
for heat, Andrew. For heat.
There's no point. There's no point.
There is no point.
When they've just brought Captain Insano back as well in the little music video, it was phenomenal. Yeah, I think it's got to be the Acclaimed as well. Swerve in Our Glory. We've seen there be a little bit of tension between them. Threads are unraveling between the two. Maybe we see Keith Lee finally go, "You're done for, Swerve. I've got naught to do with you
Boom.
any ruddy more," and punts him all the way over to the other hemisphere, whichever hemisphere is the other hemisphere. That's where he's going to go.
It's China to America, isn't it?
Well, there we go. He's going all the way.
But all right. He's off to China.
He's off to China. He's going all the way over there. So yeah, it's like you said. I think you put it absolutely perfectly. It's got to be the Acclaim for this one.
Next up, AEW Interim Women's Championship on the line. Toni Storm, the champion, defending against the uber-hot Jamie Hayter. Hot as in very popular, but also she's a pretty lady. Who you got and why?
I'm so torn on this one because I am a hater in the sense of I enjoy Jamie Hayter
That's
wrestling.
really misogynistic.
I am a
It's
hater.
not just about her looks, Andrew.
Well, and it's not. I'm not saying it's about her looks. She's got a good backbreaker as well, all right?
Yeah.
But I'm going to say Toni Storm retains the title here. I reckon, right, something's going to go down in that Britt Baker, sad about her loss to Saraya, is going to come out in this match and cost Jamie Hayter the title. We've already seen it happen. I think it happened at Forbidden Door, if I'm correct, where Britt Baker pulled Jamie Hayter off whoever was being pinned. I can't remember who it was, but she was going to win the belt. That happened. We got a bit of a tease between, they're going to break up, and then they came back together again. I think we need to just be like, no, right, we're split, we're done, we'll go do our separate things. Then you've got a Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker rivalry, whilst also perhaps if Thunder Rosa comes back very soon. I know they've wanted to do the Thunder Rosa and Toni Storm match for a long time. I think they wanted to do that before Thunder Rosa left the company for a little while. And I think that's where we're going to go. We've got two separate storylines there that we could build off, and then finally we can get back round and we get Jamie Hayter winning the belt at some point. Please, very soon, please.
You know, that's a really, really well thought out argument there. I'm going for Hayter based on the fact that she is so hot, she's so over right now, she's so popular, and I'd like to think that Toni has learned his lesson with the Acclaimed stuff at the last pay-per-view. It's just like, listen to the fans, give them what they want. And I think he'll be panicking here, so he'll go, okay, we'll put it on Hayter. But actually, your way makes a hell of a lot of sense. And like, you're totally right in that Britt and Jamie, they could be feuding and they could have some great matches and everything, and then you give Hayter the belt down the line, and then you still get Toni versus Thunder for the title. That makes so much sense.
It does, but
will Toni have thought of it?
I don't know, because I feel like he likes to listen to the crowd a lot, doesn't he?
That's the only reason that I'm going for Hayter here, because I think he's learned his lesson. I'd like to think so. But I wouldn't be disappointed if it plays out in the way that you suggested. I'm going to lock in Hayter. I'm going to lock in Hayter.
Okay.
But good job.
Thanks.
That's really good.
That's really sweet. That's the nicest
Really
thing
good.
you've ever said. It's another bloody title match, Adam. It's the AEW Trios title match between Death Triangle, the champions. They're going up against those naughty boys, the Elite. Who are you going to go for?
I'll be so disappointed if the Elite win this one.
Yeah.
I
agree. I do agree.
I'm looking forward to seeing them back.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with that. I just don't want them to just go back to square one and have Death Triangle's reign mean absolutely nothing. They're just placeholders, and I think they've done that in the past. AEW done that in the past with placeholder champions. Let's not do that. Let's have Death Triangle win, and let's have Death Triangle win clean. Is it going to happen? Probably not. I think they're just going to go back to square one. I hate you if that's the case, Tony. Give it to Death Triangle. Who have you got?
I'm going back to square one.
Oh, yeah, I thought you might be.
I'm going with the Elite. There's been a little. I feel like I've said this multiple times in many of these matches now. There's been a bit of tension, Adam, between the Lucha Brothers and Pac, just using hammers all the time, little toffee chisels, and just knocking people on their head and getting the pins. There's been a bit of tension there, so that could very well play into the fact that that causes them the loss at this point. I am saying the Elite to win because in my heart and in my head, I want to see the House of Black come back and absolutely decimate the Elite to take the titles. And then we can get some really good matches between those two teams and get Death Triangle involved in that as well. And some other trios champions. Like, we don't just have to have, 3-on-3. We could have a whole plethora of people around the ring.
Too many cooks, Andrew. Too many cooks. Yeah, I mean, the Elite are probably going to win this one, but I just really hope they don't.
Me too.
And finally, main event time. You'll never guess our predictions for this one. Jon Moxley defends against Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Andrew, who have you got on my?
I've gone for MJF. It could be the biggest swerve in the company's history, though, Adam. And we might not see MJF pick up the win, but I have a feeling, right? MJF's going to pick up the win, and a little tiny man named William Regal is going to align himself with MJF.
You're going for that, are you? Okay.
I really do think that MJF's going to prove himself in this match, right? He's going to seem like the biggest babyface throughout this whole entire thing. Jon Moxley's going to be a little bit cocky, and I reckon he's really going to play to the fact that I'm going to beat him clean, and right at the end, maybe he uses the brass knuckles. He gets his own hands dirty, though, and that's the main thing from what William Regal said. William Regal was like, look, you get everybody else to do your dirty work, you got to do your dirty work yourself. So maybe he pulls out, not the Dynamite Diamond ring, but a pair of brass knuckles in honour of William Regal.
That's beautiful, that.
Clock him, 1, 2, 3, your new champion, and William Regal aligns with him.
Where does that leave the BCC?
In tatters, Adam, because they've already been...
They've not been around for long, Andrew.
Something that I've said multiple times, as I mentioned before, tension. Tension between.
There's tension between everybody. I've stopped paying attention to the tension.
Whoa!
Because there's tension. Every one of these videos it comes to, and it's like, well, yeah, they weren't getting on in that backstage segment.
Yeah.
Just well, that just happens all the pissing time. I can't follow it. I agree. It's MJF's time. I really like your way of booking it. I don't know how it's going to play out. No. I don't think it's going to be a totally clean win. I think Maxwell is going to be a bit naughty right at the end after a valiant sort of semi-babyface. I think he'll play it clean up until the very end. I don't know if William Regal gets involved or not. But I'd like to devote the next 20 seconds or so of my time to saying thank you, Jon Moxley, for being bloody awesome, right?
The man was supposed to have time off.
My time.
Oh.
Thank you, Jon Moxley. He was supposed to have time off. It feels like he is the man who has held the company together. He is a natural fit for a champion. He's an excellent champion, and I hope the next time he becomes champion, because he will, there's no drama surrounding it. I just hope it's a brilliant reign and we can celebrate him once again. But he's been amazing. So thank you, Jon Moxley. Much appreciated. No, it's just me clapping. Thank you, Jon Moxley. Thank you. Andrew, anything else to say?
I don't think so. Thank you so much, everybody, one and all, for joining us for our AEW Full Gear 2022 predictions. It will be myself and apparently this man, on the live reactions. However, no belts on the line because he's a stand-up gentleman.
You don't deserve it.
Why?
Because you lose and you lose and you lose and you lose. So what's the point of me defending? I'm holding these forever. And I tell you what, Survivor Series is coming up. That's next weekend, right? You better get some mates together.
I've got friends. I put your number out on the internet for you to get friends. So we'll see if you've got anything in the bag.
I'll tell you not to bring that up.
Anyway, thank you so much everybody for joining us on this video. You will have the live reactions between myself and Adam. You'll also have what happened at not long after the pay-per-view itself with Jack the Jobber and the WTF moments with Ross Tweddle as well. But until then, it's been our pleasure. It's been our pleasure to serve.
Get your words out! You look like a sperm!
It's been our pleasure to serve you. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next one.